So what I want to do today is help you understand how to make a good case study on your website, because the world does not need more disability services or NDIS services who are just going, hey, look at us, here's 5 testimonials from people, because that just drives people silly and doesn't build trust. Instead, what we need to do is provide actual case studies, real life things that you've done well that make you stand out. Okay, so if we look at that, first step is to change everyone's name. Now, if you've got to say a staff member called Beth, in the case study you can call her Beth. Not a problem because she's on your staff. But change mum's name, change the participant's name. Don't use people for the sake of your own marketing. It's just not right. So that's one thing to be aware of before we get started. And then come up with a scenario that these people were involved in that had a good outcome that demonstrates that you will persevere and you will persist until you get what this family needs or what this person needs. So you try and think of like, what was the issue? How do we solve it? What was the solution? Oh, sorry. Who did we get to solve it? Like, who do we get involved? And the more people you have from outside your organization involved, the better you look, because you look collaborative. And in the real world, people like that and they need that. What was the solution you chose? And then what were the positive side effects of using that solution? Like, what are the good things that came of it that you hadn't even anticipated? And how do people feel at the end of it? So let me show you an example of that. An example of that might be, say, you've got a young person say they have autism and they've never been in the movies before. You might say their goal is to go to watch a movie. So who's involved? You might have Beth, the support coordinator, you might have mum involved, and you might have the participant. Well, what was the problem? They've never been in the movies before, but they want to. Okay. And then who did we get involved to solve it? Well, first we chatted with mum and we chatted with the support coordinator, and together we worked out that, he'll probably be okay if he goes with his favourite support worker. So say he's going to go with Kevin, the support worker. So that means Kevin and mum are involved, and Kevin and mum are talking about what it'll take to get everything set up for him to succeed. And then what was the solution? The solution might be, first get a copy of the movie and watch it at home a couple of times to get used to that movie so it's not new and scary when you're at the movies. And I mean, I don't know how you do that. Maybe you get some pirated version from China or something, but the bottom line is you don't want that young person walking into the movie theater getting scared and not having a good time. So what were the steps? What were the supports you put in place? What was the solution? Remembering it's not one thing, it's probably a dozen things. Even traveling in the car, like we go with someone known, like mum, so we involve mum in that. Now, how did it go? I guess would be the next question. I should actually write that down. How did it go? And then obviously it went well, or you wouldn't be talking about it as a good news case study. And it doesn't have to go perfectly, it just has to go well. It has to be a step in the right direction. And what were the positive side effects? Look, the positive side effects were that Kevin, the support worker, and Aaron had a great time. They not only went to the movies, but they also got a coffee on the way home. They didn't have the coffee in the loud, crowded mall because that's not what this participant needs. They had it outside the front. But what a win, and not just that, but Aaron was able to, like in this made up example, Aaron was able to be the one who actually paid for the coffees. So, that was a positive side effect. It was unintended. It was a good outcome. That's sort of conveying the heart of what we do is to really see people thrive. And I guess question 7, how did people feel at the end of it? Well, mum was delighted and relieved. Aaron he felt proud of himself and he was willing to go back and do it again the following week. Okay. And obviously, Beth was glad that all the work that mum put in had paid off. Remember, in your story, Beth, your staff member, can't be the hero of the story. It needs to be mum and the participant, because otherwise it's not a good story. And also the support worker who was with him, the support worker was just so proud of the participant. Because remember, it's not about the support worker being good, it's about the hero of the story is the participant. So that's sort of how you play that one. Now, some tips. When you write this, write as though you're just talking. Now, if you don't know how to write like that, then leave me a voicemail or a WhatsApp voice message or something, or make a quick video. Just talk. Don't write, talk, okay? And people will sometimes say, well, why am I using a pseudonym? Why don't I get mum's permission to use his real name? Why would you do that? How does it benefit anyone? It's not good to use people for your marketing, so I would not recommend that. If your CEO tells you differently, do what your CEO says, but I would not recommend that one bit. And then the other thing is just get it done. Like, don't spend half an hour deliberating over it. This is a 5-minute task. Okay, if it takes you more than 5 minutes, you're putting too much into it, because you don't need 1,000 words here. All you need is, like, you know, a 100-word case study. In fact, I'll even write that in there for you. Okay, to make it really easy. All you need is a 100-word case study. Just keep it simple. Okay, because the goal here is to not look like everyone else. Everyone else is telling you how good their organization is. Instead of telling them you're good, you're demonstrating what you do day to day that really helps people.